Good evening and welcome to the June 16th, 2020 Guilderland Central School District Board of Education meeting. Would you all please silence your cell phones and recite the pledge? I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. All right, before I turn this over to Regan Johnson for our retiree recognition committee, our recognition ceremony, I just want to let everybody know there's been some tech issues tonight. So if people drop out, it's because of a tech issue, not because they're leaving. We wait for them to join back. And is Lynn on here or no? No. Okay. So I'll hand over the retiree recognition ceremony to Regan.
Thank you, Dr. Rivera. I apologize for Lynn not being able to get in, but we're going to roll without her. It's my pleasure to welcome you here all this evening as we recognize our retirees for their many years of distinguished service to our school district. We have 34 individuals that have begun or are about to begin a new chapter of their lives with a decision to retire. This esteemed group of individuals includes 8 transportation folks, including bus drivers and a mechanic, 10 teaching assistants, 1 food service cook, 1 non-instructional supervisor, also from transportation, 5 secretaries, 8 GTA members, including teachers, an occupational therapist, and 2 school counselors, 1 district office administrator. Together, they have dedicated a cumulative total of 734 and a half years of service to our school district. We're going to honor our retirees a little bit differently this evening since we're all still remote. We have invited our administrators to introduce each retiree and say just a word or two about each one. We gave them a 1-sentence limit, but we're very happy to say that there may be some with 2 or 3. Dr. Wiles, would you like to say a few words on the behalf of this special milestone?
I would. Thanks so much, Regan. First of all, let me welcome all of our leadership team members here tonight to help honor our retirees. What I'd like to say to our retirees who I hope are watching from home, first, just a giant thank you for your many years of service to our school district. I think the privilege of working in education is beyond any, because we have this power to touch the lives of children and make a positive difference. I think if I asked any one of you to think of a person who made a difference in your life, you would think of someone who you knew at school. Maybe it was your teacher, maybe it was your bus driver, maybe it was the school nurse. But we all have these indelible memories that stick with us for a lifetime. And one of the things about doing this work is that while you know in theory that happens, we don't always know in practice. You know, we see hundreds or even thousands of children, and then we get these rare occasions when someone will send a note or let us know. So my message to all the retirees tonight is to know without a doubt that there are children who are remembering you fondly for making a positive impact on their life. That's priceless. And we can't thank you all enough for what you've done for Guilderland. So you have my congratulations on behalf of the board and everyone. So thanks.
Thank you, Dr. Wiles. To lead our program tonight off, we're going to ask Westmere Principal, Dr. Beth Beanie, to discuss her 2 retirees.
Hi, good evening, everyone. It's my pleasure to recognize and congratulate 2 teaching assistants on their retirement. The first one is Sharon Barkham. She's been a teaching assistant for 25 years in the district. And not only was Sharon a tremendous support for the intermediate students that she worked with and their academic and emotional needs, but she was the go-to person for so many 5th grade projects, such as the Heritage Project, Marketplace, and Moving Up Day. Her attention to detail, creativity, and organization was beyond compare, A true team player as she worked with teachers, Sharon was always willing to step up and also cover for classroom teachers as a substitute whenever needed. She did this every day with a smile and a positive attitude, and we will miss Mrs. Barkham. Just on a side note, I will let you know that Mrs. Barkham was one of those teachers that still used the opaque projector for so many of her displays, murals, and bulletin boards. With her retirement, the opaque projector at Westmere is up for grabs if anyone else should feel the need. So congratulations on your retirement, Sharon. I'd also like to recognize and congratulate and thank Michelle Farrison for her 22 years of experience at Westmere. In her years of service, Michelle was known for her kind and gentle ways, supporting our youngest learners in kindergarten and first grade, again, both socially and academically. She helps students learn school routines, school behaviors, and always willing to also help wherever needed. We will miss her kind and gentle ways and wish her well with her retirement.
Thank you, Dr. Beanie. Next up is our instructional administrator for math, science, and technology at Farnsworth Middle School, Dr. Beverly Bisnet-Jenks.
Good evening, everyone. It is my pleasure to honor and recognize Eileen Conley, senior keyboardist and secretary to both myself and Roy Dumar at Farnsworth Middle School. Eileen, in her 14 years at Farnsworth Middle School, has provided the teaching staff and the supervisors she serves a strong, enduring presence. This presence is one every faculty member has come to rely on. Her work ethic, commitment, and leadership will be beyond missed. Congratulations on a much-deserved retirement.
Thank you, Dr. Bisnet-Jenks. Next up is Principal of Altamont Elementary School, Mr. Peter Brabant.
Hello, everybody. It gives me great pleasure to acknowledge the retirees from Altamont this year. And I'm going to actually address two of them together, Rose McKee and Karen Lockwood. They both came into the school district about 20 years ago, and they both came in to start our new self-contained programs. They worked with some of our most needy students, and they gave every year that they were working here, they committed to those programs, and they really taught everyone at this school and in our community about the power of relationships. They helped kids grow socially, emotionally, and they really fostered greater independence. It was a real special treat for me to be able to work with teachers like that and how they helped me to learn about the population and just see the amazing strides that those students make. So congratulations, Rose. Congratulations, Karen. It's kind of cool you came in together and you're going out together. Good for you guys. Also, I would like to acknowledge Carol Candeloro, who also worked in the self-contained program for her 20 years that she worked in our school district. And she served those students in that program just beautifully for her 20 years. Her dedication to students and families helped to change lives of kids in positive ways. Her patience and ability to foster student independence will be greatly missed at our school. So we wish you well, Carol. Also, Joanne Palmer, who worked in those programs also for a number of years. Joanne Palmer leaves us with 20 years of service, and she has served in just about every role a teaching assistant can serve in the elementary level. It's really a testament to her range as a professional, as well as her ability to effectively work with kids and adults at all grade levels and all programs. She knows the powers of inclusion, and she played a crucial role in ensuring kids feel connected, cared for, and able to contribute in our school community. So we're so happy for you, Joanne. Enjoy your retirement years, and thanks for everything you've done. And lastly, from Altamont, it gives us great pleasure to acknowledge Deb Blaber. Deb Blaber is a teaching assistant who has worked for about 20 years in the school district, and she came to us maybe 8 years ago from Guilderland Elementary School, and it was simply a dream come true. To work with Deb is just a special treat for any student, any teacher, any parent. She just connects with kids and she finds a way to support students academically, socially, emotionally. And then she adds so much warmth and good humor to our professional community. Her presence will be dearly missed by both staff and students. And we wish Deb well in her retirement, and we're the better off for knowing her. So thank you. Back to you, Regan.
Thank you, Mr. Brabant. Next up, we're going to turn it over to the principal of Pine Bush Elementary School, Mr. Chris Sanita. Is Chris not there?
I don't see this.
I can hop in, Regan. Nancy Doyle, a teaching assistant at Pine Bush Elementary School. Served our district for 32 years. Congratulations, Nancy. She was a pivotal TA with our special education students at Pine Bush. Nancy has a unique ability to develop special personal connections with students and colleagues. Students know that she believes in them, and because of this, so many children have been able to reach their true potential through her teaching and influence. We cannot thank Nancy enough for all she has done for Pine Bush. Congratulations and all the best on a well-earned retirement. Good luck, Nancy.
Thanks, Lisa, for jumping in for Chris. Next up, I turn it over to Dr. Damian Singleton, the Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum and Instruction.
I see David muted.
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to unmute. My apologies. As I was saying, it's my great pleasure to recognize Castilia Camiso. She has been an employee of various roles in the district for 28 years. And many of you know that she is my right hand. She is my partner. She is my biggest supporter. And literally, you're all that I know, Castilia, since I've been in this role as assistant superintendent since 2008. You will undoubtedly leave a legacy for so many to remember as you depart for the next chapter of your life. You are truly an institution in Guilderland. So thank you so much for all that you have done for me, for our teachers, for the district, and our entire school community. And I want you to now hit the beach and enjoy life with your grandkids and family. And thank you so much for your years of service.
Thank you, Dr. I'm going to turn it back over to Lisa Knowles.
Good evening, everyone. It is my pleasure to honor Terry Maxwell. She had served the district for 26.5 years. She recently retired in the special education office as our high school senior keyboard specialist. Terry was the glue that held the special education department together for over 25 years. Her calm presence and willingness to go above and beyond for her colleagues, students, and families was extraordinary. She is so very missed, but I know she picked the right time to retire. Congratulations, Terry. I would also like to recognize Pam Lacasio, an occupational therapist in the district for 24 years. Pam has been the foundation of our occupational therapy department. She trailblazed a path to ensure our students receive the assistance they needed in classrooms. Her unwavering support of students and colleagues will be missed. Congratulations and best wishes, Pam. I hope you get to see your grandchildren soon.
Thank you, Lisa. Our next presenter is Mr. Michael Lasser from Farnsworth Middle School, our building principal.
Thanks, Regan. It gives me great pleasure to speak on behalf of the administrative team at FMS on many of our retirees this year. So first up, I'd like to talk a little bit about Colleen Ryan, one of our special education teachers who has served the district for 9 years. Colleen Ryan's a special person and teacher. She's also one of the toughest. She was one of the hardest working and passionate advocates for students with disabilities I've ever worked alongside. I appreciated her and all she did for our school community. Congratulations in retirement and continue to stay healthy. Next up, a teaching assistant who worked closely in the classrooms with Colleen Ryan supporting students, a teaching assistant, Diane Wells, for 15 and a half years, she served many students, putting a smile on their faces no matter what challenges they had. Her care and support for our kids was evident as you watched her work with them. Diane, enjoy the next chapter in your life. Next up, we have another teaching assistant, Linda Hunt, who served students at FMS for 16 years. Linda has been here quite some time, and her care and assistance has helped many of our students achieve even greater success. Her positive attitude and connections with kids could not be missed. Good luck in your retirement, and enjoy every minute, Linda. Kathleen Zimmerman was one of our FACS teachers for 13 years at FMS. She taught many students the life skills that will help them succeed at home and away from home. She did so with a smile, a kind word, and a caring gesture. Even though she will be missed, she's now ready to begin her next adventures. I know that. Have fun in retirement, Kathy. One of our school counselors, Maureen Pocow, has been at FMS for 30 years. Maureen, I'd like to thank you for your years of love, support, care, and advocacy for middle school students and the profession of school counseling. Your positive impact on students, families, and our staff will definitely be missed. You certainly have left some big shoes to fill, especially during these trying times. Good luck in your retirement, Maureen. You're always welcome to come back and visit. Finally, I'd like to recognize Nancy Clondon, one of our 6th grade ELA social studies teachers. For 30 years, Nancy has been a brilliant educator who has positively touched the hearts and minds of many students over her years. The halls of FMS will not be the same without her presence and voice. Nancy is ready to start the next adventure and chapter, but she definitely will be missed by all of us here at FMS. Thank you, and Regan, back to you.
Thank you, Mr. Lasker. I'm going to turn it over to our high school principal, Mr. Michael Piscatelli.
Thanks, Regan. I have the pleasure of honoring 5 retirees from the high school tonight. And our first one is Ms. Lynn Scally, who's a senior keyboard specialist with 21 years of district service. Lynn has done a fantastic job as our building registrar. She has amazed us with her attention to detail, her ability to find mistakes that everybody else seems to miss, and how she ensures that every item leaving GHS is of the utmost quality. Lynn has been a vital part of our team, and she will truly be missed. And just a testament to Lynn's hard work, Lynn retired in March, and she's already back working at GHS, finishing off the school year, helping us close out the year, and training our new registrar. So thank you, Lynn. Our second person is Ms. Laura Lawton. This is a hard one for me. I feel like Damien in this situation. Laura has 25 years of district service. It's really hard to say goodbye to someone who has made my life so much easier as I transitioned into this job. Laura is an outstanding professional and an even better person who goes above and beyond on a daily basis. Her incredible knowledge of the high school operations and her attention to detail have kept the building running smoothly for years, and the building and I will truly miss her presence. Our next person to honor tonight is Ms. Renee Sheehan, one of our school counselors who has been at the district for 35 years. It is hard to imagine GHS without Renee Sheehan. For many years, she has been the heart of the building and a leader in supporting our whole student population. Renee has built strong relationships with generations of families and is a fierce advocate for her students. Renee is also our master of the master schedule and has helped train many iterations of administrators, including myself. Most of all, we will miss her sweetness, her grace, and her wonderful sense of humor, and we wish her the best in retirement. Next is Ms. Diane Young, a teaching assistant in our special education department who has 17 years of district service. Diane provided years of support and steadfast care for our most vulnerable special education students. Her humor and dedication will be missed by all those fortunate enough to have worked with her. Diane performed her job with a smile on her face every day. Congratulations, Diane. And lastly, Miss Lori Richardson, again, a special ed teaching assistant with 20 years of district service. During her time with Gilliland, Lori was a true asset to every classroom she served. Her passion for learning and people was evident in the steadfast care she provided all students with whom she worked, elementary to upperclassmen. Lori's positivity, insight, and kindness will be missed by the special education department and the entire school community. Congratulations, Lori. Thank you, Regan.
Thank you, Mike. I'm going to pass the baton to Mr. Neil Sanders, our Assistant Superintendent for Business.
Thank you, Regan. It's my distinct pleasure and honor to recognize 10 individuals tonight that are retiring from the food service and transportation departments. First up is Perry Han IPEC. She's a cook in our food service department. And for 18 years, Perry Han has shown her love and passion for school food service through the amazing meals that she provides day in and day out. She cares so much about the students and also the staff that she oversees each day. She will certainly be missed. Next is Ron Emmerich, bus driver. For 14 and a half years, Ron has provided years of reliable transportation to many students throughout the school district. Parents could always count on Ron to protect their children and be right on time every day, which is essentially important in school transportation. Next is William Sesnet, another school bus driver. So for 15 and a half years, Bill provided years of safe, reliable transportation to numerous students throughout the district. Bill's commitment to safety is second to none. Next, another driver, Peter Calabro. For 17 years, Peter was the beloved school bus driver by all. Peter was always willing to help no matter what the need was. His commitment to the students as well as the district will be missed. The next is mechanic Daniel Weber. For 27 and a half years, Dan provided years of support in the transportation department. He did everything from repairing buses to filling in as a driver to snow removal. Dan could always be counted on for any of those tasks. Dan's positive outlook and humor will be missed. Next, another school bus driver, Lee Slitzner, excuse me. For 12 years, Lee was a fun-loving, reliable school bus driver. The students on his bus route could count on him to return year after year. Lee is missed by his students as well as the entire transportation department. Next, another school bus driver, Karen Knapp. For 40 and a half years, Karen has served the district. She began as a driver in 1978, and again, almost a record, maybe a record for longevity for 40 years in that position. Next is Cynthia Barnick, school bus driver. Longevity as well, 32 and a half years. She's a veteran school bus driver who was committed to safety. Over her 30+ years of service, she touched many students' lives. Next, Suzanne Spiak, school bus driver, 27 years. Sue was a caring, compassionate school bus driver. Her commitment to the students she transported was second to none. She will surely be missed. And then last but not least, Michael Gannon, our assistant transportation supervisor. For 17 years, Michael has worked tirelessly on improving the transportation department. His goal has always been to provide exceptional service to both students and the district. Michael will be missed by the entire school community, and I will add for myself as well. I've come to work closely with Michael over the years. He's an outstanding individual. I wish him all the best in his retirement, as well as all the other retirees that I've mentioned.
Thank you, Mr. Sanders. And last up, I'd like to turn it back over to Dr. Wiles for our last retiree.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. The last retiree we're recognizing tonight is the person who usually coordinates these whole events. And I'm sure when we went out of order earlier to save her for last, I'm sure she was going crazy. Neil and I were watching her face on the little screen like, you're not following my script. Am I right? So it is my pleasure to recognize Dr. Lynn Severance, who has been our Assistant Superintendent for Human Resources for nearly 12 years. And during that time, she has touched every one of our lives and every one of the lives of every employee in Guilderland, which, if you think about that, is immense. We have close to 1,000 employees. She has guided and advised many of us and all of our employees through life's momentous events with compassion and understanding and wisdom. She often said to me, she used to say two things in all of her end of year evaluations. One was, I love my job. And I'm like, yes, but yes, Lynn, I can tell because you're the last one here every day. And her commitment to touch the life of every employee and build strong relationships, one relationship, one employee at a time. She worked tirelessly to do that. She has bags of satchels that she likes to bring back and forth to work each day. So Regan, you got some big shoes to fill. But you don't have to wear any heels or anything like that. So congratulations, Lynn. We're all kind of in denial, but we wish you the best. We wish you well, and we invite you to come back and visit us when we can all visit again. So congratulations. And is it my job to send it to Regan or to Seema?
I would just like to say real quickly before I turn over to Dr. Rivera, congratulations to all of our retirees, and I'd like to thank our speakers tonight for saying that the speakers. So with that, I'd like to turn it back over to Dr. Rivera.
Thank you, Regan. To all the retirees, as you retire, may you look back with pride on all you have done. May you remember fondly the friendships you have made and the lives you have touched. May you look forward with anticipation of wonderful times ahead, and may you move on in happiness and in health. On behalf of the Board of Education, the school district, and the entire Guilderland community, thank you for your many years of service. Congratulations to everyone celebrating an achievement this evening. Thank you, Regan and Marie, for helping with that. I will wait traditionally like a couple of minutes to allow the administrators to leave if they would like, or you can hang on, watch from home. Thank you, everybody. Agenda back up here. Can you guys hear me? Okay. So next on the agenda, we have public comment number 1. Dr. Wiles, did anybody submit a comment?
There were no comments tonight.
Okay, thank you. Okay, next on the agenda, the consent items, which include the minutes of the May 26th meeting, the CPSC and the CSC recommendations, and the personnel action and financials for May 31st. Can I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Rebecca? Second, Gloria. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Passes 7-0. Next on the agenda, information items, curriculum and instruction. Dr. Singleton?
Thank you, Dr. Rivera. I'd like to start with some information related to a recent recognition of Guilderland High School. Let me begin by congratulating Principal Piscatelli and the Guilderland High School teachers and staff for being designated as a No Place for Hate school by the Anti-Defamation League. The Anti-Defamation League's No Place for Hate initiative is an organizing framework for school climate improvement, and the framework is designed for schools to combat bias, bullying, and hatred, leading to long-term solutions for creating and maintaining positive and equitable climate. No Place for Hate schools receive their designation in the following ways. First, building inclusive and safe communities in which respect and equity are the goals and where all students can thrive. Second, empowering students, faculty, administration, and family members to take a stand against bias and bullying by incorporating new and existing programs under one powerful message. Third, sending a clear, unified message that all students have a place where they belong. And this critical initiative will also be reviewed for future implementation in our middle and elementary schools. Related to this designation for Guilderland High School, we also have numerous new collaborations and activities which have emerged or are being planned to respond to some of the recent tragic events that have gripped our nation and once again brought to the forefront of our work the need to do more to combat racism, injustice, and inequality. Just a few examples, and by no means is this all that we intend to do, but just some recent activities. At Guilderland High School, under the leadership of Amy Horalchek, we have an amazing partnership that has emerged, bringing teachers, leaders, and students together to talk about the struggle our students and staff are experiencing in the wake of George Floyd's death and the subsequent state of the nation and region. The group includes student leaders from the STAR group, the NCBI group, and our new program, Training for Understanding. Dr. Wiles and I have had the pleasure of participating. We, in fact, had a meeting this afternoon, and it was a wonderful conversation. And I have to say, it was a conversation that was very much led by our students. This group will continue to meet to plan and discuss actionable steps for the future at GHS, the district, and the broader Guilderland community. We are also partaking in a summer book club that has recently been established to bring teachers, leaders, and students together to engage in crucial conversations related to these recent events in our country, race, racism, and inequality. The discussions will focus on the book Stamped, Racism, Anti-Racism, and You, which was written by Jason Reynolds and Ibram Kendi. This best-selling book provides a critical and accessible reveal of the history of racist ideas in America, and it inspires hope for an anti-racist future. This version is an adaptation of Kendi's landmark work. It was written for a younger audience to not just make them aware, but to allow them to see themselves in the struggle. It's for all of us who are looking at where we are today, how we got here, and what needs to happen next. This book will likely be presented to the Board of Education for review and approval for use in high school courses, so you can look forward to that. And I have purchased a copy for all board members as well. Unfortunately, I heard from the vendor today that the publisher has no inventory left in the nation right now. The book is in such demand. So the delivery date, unfortunately, is going to get pushed back. So I will keep you updated on that. At Farnsworth Middle School, we will also be facilitating another book study with staff centered around the book White Fragility, written by Robin DiAngelo, PhD. This book was read and discussed by all school and district leaders last year and will inevitably inform our staff with important anti-racist understandings and essential strategies for well-intentioned people who truly endeavor to be part of the solution. Lastly, and Dr. Wiles will speak to this a bit as well, we have two GHS student leaders who made it their personal goal to affect change in our schools and across New York State. Shashank Shamshabad and Rubina Firdow have drafted a bill that will be sent to Assemblywoman Pat Fahey for consideration and hopefully passage and adoption. The bill is titled New York State Racial Equality Education, and their bill focuses on three areas. First, implement mandatory racial equality education across the state of New York and for children in elementary schools. Next is to the reform of police disarmament strategies and training. And then finally, provide special training regarding racial equality to educators in, this should say, K-12 schools. And our work to strive for greater equity for all of our students remains a top priority for the district. We know that we can and we must do better, and we will continue to forge ahead with this incredibly important work. We appreciate the board's support, as equity was also identified as a board priority and goal last year. We are also having some conversations about how do we actually move forward in a rather aggressive and constructive manner. Dr. Wiles and I, about a year and a half ago, started having conversations about, similar to some other districts in the region, creating an equity officer position in our district. That would serve a couple of roles. One would be a prime coordinator, I would say, of some of this essential work, but it also would serve as a student advocate for our students who may be experiencing any form of bias or discrimination in their educational experience. So we will continue to discuss that possibility, and hopefully we can make that part of our work in Guilderland going forward. So more to come on that. My second item, congratulations to Marcia Ranieri, who is the Instructional Administrator for World Languages and Cultures and English as a New Language. She has recently been chosen to be part of the statewide ENL Leadership Council. Marcia will be joining Associate Commissioner Eliza Alvarez and the New Languages Other Than English Associate for our English language and bilingual learners. So congratulations to Marcia. We look forward to hearing back from you and the progress of that esteemed group. Next, I'm very pleased to share some updates for the Letters for Better groups. So I want to share some of the great success that this student-led North Star and Letter for Better teams were able to achieve in recent weeks. These teams solicited and received 908 letters thanking first responders for their courage and dedication while serving those affected by the pandemic. Letters were received from Guilderland students from all levels, teachers, parents, and even students from other districts with the help of a little social media. These teams were also able to personally deliver 190 letters to Albany Med, St. Peter's, Community Hospice, UPS transportation workers, and the Guilderland Police Department. My fourth item is just an information item for you. The following textbook is submitted for your information. It is entitled Mastering the Grade 10 Global History Curriculum Using Evidence-Based Data. This is the second edition by Stuart Zimmer and James Killoran for use in Global 10 regions and honors. Next item is an update to our Family and Consumer Science program. So the Middle School Family and Consumer Sciences program, also known as FACS, has been renamed, and it will now be FACS/CTE, which stands for Career and Technical Education. This renaming is the first step in the process of rewriting and aligning the program curricula to include aspects of the 6 overarching middle-level themes, which are career and community opportunities, communications and interpersonal relationships, financial and consumer literacy, health, safety and wellness, problem solving and innovation, and sustainability. And this will be done via the content modules of agricultural education, business and marketing education, family and consumer sciences education, health science education, technology education, and trade and technical education. Dr. Shannon Elliott, who supervises the department, and her team will be working on this revisioning of the curriculum in the coming months. And my final item is just another warm congratulations to one of our high school teachers, Deb O'Brien, who recently received the National Federation of High Schools Girls Tennis Coach of the Year for New York State. A great recognition and certainly well-deserved. So we want to congratulate Deb for the great work she does with our girls tennis team. And again, a very well-deserved award for her.
Thank you, Dr. Singleton. Next on the agenda is superintendent information. Dr. Wiles? Oh, you're muted, Dr. Wiles.
Thank you so much. My first item is a topic that I know has lots of interest across the community, and that is the reopening of school. So we are currently working through the many challenges of reopening our schools in the fall. We're using current guidance from a number of sources, including the Centers for Disease Control, the State Education Department, Department of Health, and many others to frame our work. The fundamental question about social distancing requirements when we return is still not clear. So we're thinking through several possible scenarios: our full return to in-person school, a full continuation of remote learning, or some combination of the two. And that latter one is where we're spending most of our time. We've created a task force and several functional area advisory committees, one for facilities, another for instruction, another focused on health and safety, another focused on social emotional learning, another on human resources, and the final one on extracurricular and athletic activities. These groups will be working through the summer to provide guidance and advice on the district's plans to reopen. And the advisory committees include faculty and staff, parents and community representatives. And I'll tell you, I've reached out to our faculty and our staff and our parents, and I am overwhelmed with the number of people who want to work all summer to support this. I have far more volunteers than we can possibly put to work and not have committees of 100. So I'm so thankful for that interest and the expertise that I know that will come from it as we make these tough decisions. The other thing I want to mention is, in the event that all or some of our instruction will need to take place remotely in the fall, we've been gathering information from our faculty, staff, and students about their experiences with remote learning through 3 surveys. We're planning to run several focus groups of students and parents to hear more directly about their experiences so we can improve the experience going forward. So lots going on there. Oh, and I just closed out my thing. Okay. My next item is the information about the annual convention in October of 2020. It is the New York State School Board's convention. And I closed myself out and can't open it fast enough to tell you when the dates are, but that is coming up. If you are interested in attending, you should let me or Linda Livingston know.
I can read it, Dr. Wiles, if you want.
Oh, could you? Because then I can go back and get myself open here.
Yep. So the annual convention and education expo for NYSSBA will be held in New York City on October 29th to 31st, 2020. The registration opens on July 27th. If board members are interested, please let Linda Livingston know as soon as possible. And if there's any interest in submitting a resolution, the 2020 resolution kit is attached. So that should be in the agenda.
Thank you, Seema. And I think that was all I had for information.
Thank you, Dr. Wiles. Okay, so next on the agenda, board president information. I have one item here, and this is the proposed Board of Ed meeting dates for the 2020-2021 school year. And so it's here for your information, and next time it will be up for action. And next on the agenda, action items. First, we have school business, and Mr. Sanders.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Rivera. First item this evening is a recommendation for a bid award, and that award be made to Bunkoff General Contractors Incorporated. Low bidder meeting specifications for a general construction contract. This contract is part of the first phase of work related to our $30.9 million capital project approved by the voters in May of 2019. First phase is focused on safety and security work. Bunkoff was the low bidder from among 6 bidders, and the total amount of the bid is $1,447,000.
So moved.
Oh, thank you, Barb, for calling the motion. Can I have a second? Rebecca? Kelly? Any questions or comments? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 7-0.
Next item is recommendation to approve an installment purchase agreement, and that is for the replacement of computers for next year's 5th and 9th grade student cohorts.
Hey, can I have a motion for the purchase agreement?
So moved.
Gloria? In a second. Kelly? Any questions or comments? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passes 7-0.
Next item this evening is the approval of an agreement with Parsons Child and Family Center to maintain a licensed behavioral health center satellite location within the district to provide clinical treatment program services to our students.
Can I have a motion for the satellite agreement?
So moved.
Gloria, second Rebecca. Anybody have questions? Comments? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passes 7-0.
Thank you. Next up is 2 service agreements for students with disabilities. One is with the Center for Disability Services Incorporated, and the second one is with Wine and Skill Union Free School District.
Can I have a motion for the service agreements? Gloria,
So moved.
second Rebecca. Does anyone have questions? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Passes 7-0.
Next up is a recommendation to approve the request for proposal for group term life insurance and to award that to Reliance Standard Life Insurance Company for a 3-year period beginning October 1st, 2020.
Can I have a motion for the life insurance approval? Barb, the second.
Second.
Any questions or comments? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passes 7-0.
And then my last item tonight is a request to approve a general fund transfer totaling $69,089, transferring money from programs for students with disabilities to contract transportation in the amount of, as I mentioned previously, $69,089.
Can I have a motion for the general fund transfer?
So move.
Cindy,
Second.
second Gloria. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, passes 7-0. Thank you, Neil. Next, we have superintendent action. Dr. Wiles?
Thank you so much. I have two items tonight. The first is a resolution to approve a grant. We had this for information last time we were together, but the resolution is for the Board of Education of the Guilderland Central School District to authorize Shannon Elliott, the instructional administrator for art, business, and family and consumer science, to accept a grant in the amount of $2,500 awarded through the National Art Education Association Technology Group. The grant is for the purchase of a 3D laser printer for the Innovation Lab at Farnsworth Middle School.
Can I have a motion to accept the grant?
So move.
Barb, the second Gloria. Congratulations to Shannon Elliott. Thank you.
Mhm.
Any other questions or comments? All in
Fantastic.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, 7-0.
And my second item is for the approval of a memorandum of agreement between the Guilderland Central School District and the Guilderland Support Staff Association. And the purpose of the memorandum of agreement is to authorize 8 custodial workers, maintenance workers who were called to do extra duty during the period of school closure to be able to roll over an extra 3 vacation days into the next fiscal year.
Can I have a motion to approve the MOA?
So move.
Judy, second Ben. Any questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, passes 7-0. Thank you, Dr. Weiss.
Thank you.
Next, we have board president action. 3 items. The first is the superintendent's contract extension from 2020 to 2021. And I'll just read it. Be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Guilderland Central School District hereby extends the contract effective June 16, 2020 of Dr. Marie Wiles as superintendent of schools to June 30th, 2024, and approves the amendment to the existing employment agreement amended on July 2nd, 2019, setting forth the terms and conditions of Dr. Wiles' employment and authorizes payment thereunder. Can I have a motion to accept the contract extension?
So move.
Gloria, second Judy. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passes 7-0. Next, we have a set of policies or a policy for sexual harassment. This was up for information last time, and so now we'll vote on it. Can I have a motion to accept the policy adoption?
So move.
Barb, second Judy. Any questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, passes 7-0. And last, we have the appointment of election workers for the budget vote and election. And the listener, can I have a motion to accept the appointment of election workers for the budget vote and election?
So
Judy? Second. Gloria, second. Any questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passes 7-0. And we'll move on to board committee reports and start with policy.
We have not met.
Thank you, Barb. And then we'll move to communications.
We have not met.
And next, business practices.
We have not met.
And lastly, audit.
No meeting.
Okay. Well, our next meeting, I think, is in July, so we might redistribute the committees that people are on, so we can wait for that for next time. Next, public comment. Is there any other public comment? Anyone else? No? Okay. And lastly, board issues, ideas, and sharing. Does anybody want to share anything? Gloria?
Well, I just wanted to say that I appreciated Damien's report tonight. I think it's very helpful for us to keep this whole issue of equity and in front of us. It's something that the board set as a priority for the year, and with everything else going on this year, it kind of got held up. So I think having it as a, maybe like we do with the budget, have it as a standard kind of reporting portion of the board, it might be something we would consider doing, since it is a topic that's going to affect everyone in the district, and it's a conversation that everyone in the district really needs to be a part of. I really appreciated Damien's remarks tonight, and I think the more we are aware of what's going on, whether it's staff, students, both, what people are doing within the community, I think the more the better. The more we are aware of what's happening, the more we have a conversation and raise these questions and these issues, the better off we'll be. So I'd like to see us do more of that.
I want to just add on to that too, Gloria. I know we just briefly talked about that, to potentially, have a special board meeting focused just on this topic. And I know that we all got that email with from a previous student and the experiences that her and her classmates had experienced when she went to school. And I don't want it to be so just reactive, but more proactive. And I appreciate Damien also for sharing what the district is doing, because I know that the district is doing a lot. Of course, we can do more, but I don't think everybody knows that. And so when they don't hear about it, the assumption is that it's not happening. And I think we all know that it is happening. So having that, Gloria, like you mentioned, regularly would be good. I mean, we also acknowledge this even before before 2020 as a priority. So I am fully support that.
Seema, I would just wonder if we could get a final report on the number of ballots that were received, since it has closed now. I don't know, Neil or Marie.
Yes, we've received just over 7,500 ballots. So
wow.
So that's like 2 times, right, Neil, the number that we normally get?
that's about 3 times as many as we normally would get in a typical budget vote and election. So.
And you're starting counting tomorrow morning?
Tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. we're going to start counting. So we'll be going from 8 to 12, and then starting again at 1 o'clock till 5 o'clock. Starting tomorrow until we're done counting.
And it'll be live streamed, right?
It will be live streamed.
But there won't be any numbers as you go along, will there?
No, there won't. So
Okay.
we will we'll only share the final tally as we would in a normal election. When we have all of the votes finally counted and tabulated, that's when we'll announce the results.
Other questions or sharing?
Seema, I had a question.
Sure.
When can we start meeting again in person? So I realize maybe not having the way we usually did, but the restrictions are lifting a little bit. And if we plan for social distancing, is there any thought about meeting in person again sometime in the summer?
That would be great. I think virtual meetings aren't nearly as effective, or at least I would rather have meetings in person too.
I think we're up to 25 now. I mean, that would pretty much cover it.
I mean, I also wondered that too, Rebecca. Well, I would say that this is really convenient to have to go anywhere, but yeah, we're gonna have to get back in person. I don't know, Dr. Wiles or Neil, if either of you have comments on that.
Well, I think there'll be lots of guidance that may come from the School Boards Association and also the Council of School Superintendents. But the 25 together limit begins tomorrow in the Capital Region. So I'm going to anticipate that we can get some guidance from those leadership organizations, and then we're going to have to think about how we social distance and capture everyone on camera and so on in the LGI. But I second the motion that being back in the LGI would be a treat.
My kids would be upset about popping their head in behind me and then running in the other room and watching themselves on YouTube.
Thank you, Rebecca, for bringing that question up.
Yeah, you know, it may be wiser to think about August, seeing that July 1st is really around the corner and they keep changing everything. August may be a better thing to shoot for.
We could
Well,
also potentially
yeah,
plan for a
let's see.
hybrid. You know, like some of us electronic and others not. They would keep down our numbers.
We do that anyway when Gloria's away and when Barbara's away.
Right.
Yeah, that is a good point too, Dr. Wiles, about the camera getting everybody for spread out in the think about that.
So I think it's worth looking into.
Yeah. Thank you, Rebecca.
Any other issues, ideas, or sharing?
Will we be able to get the people that are, what, 4 and 5 on the ballot on the board as of, well, everybody will be now on July 1st, right? So we don't have to worry about getting them on earlier.
I mean, it's close enough now.
Right.
Depends on when we find out the results.
But they may still be counting on July 1st. Who knows?
Well, the two positions that are 1 year, right? They would start right away. They would-
Right. As soon as the vote total is known, but if we're not having any meetings or anything, it's sort of
Right.
doesn't make any sense.
So I guess when we find out the results, we'll go from there, and we have the meeting scheduled already.
Right. The July 1st at 6 or 7?
I don't know that yet.
Well, it's typically scheduled for 7 unless there's a reason for an exec session, but we typically
we have it for
don't do
7.
exec session before the reorg meeting. We wait till after if we need one.
All right, we'll just swear
Good.
people in. Any other comments, ideas? Okay, I'll have can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Judy?
Second.
Second, Gloria?
Did you send us a link for our further meeting?
Nope, I'm going to right after.
Okay.
Oh, we got another meeting. 4.
Yeah, so I will send you a link. Just give me 1 minute after. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passes 7-0. Thank you.